All right, guys, it's Thursday, the 28th of November, 2024. It's 3 p.m. in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about the ICC's arrest warrant for Netanyahu, as you saw in the description. Now, look, I don't really like talking about this too much because, it's impossible to really discuss with people. The people that are on the side of Israel just seem to, they also seem to be in like a cult. I don't know. I'm sorry to say. I don't know. They just refuse to admit that their side, Israel, has done absolutely anything wrong. They never have. They never will. They never do. Everything they do is A-OK. It's so insane. You know what I'm saying? Because it clearly isn't A-OK. Okay? But we don't know much about the whole thing because all the information that we get, generally, all of us, generally get only information secondhand as we get most of our information, unless we were actually somewhere to witness a certain thing happen. We can't really be sure of the truth about anything. And Israel-Palestine thing is one of those things where, we're not there, and so we're going to have to draw conclusions based on the little information that we do know and what we think is realistic and logical and what we think is right or wrong. And there we base a conclusion as to what we think about a certain situation. That's how we should do it, right? That's how we should do it. There should be no emotion involved in deciding what is right or wrong in this case, right? I know it's difficult, and I know most people can't do it, especially those people that have actual interest in the conflict. Like if you've got Palestinian family, you're invested in this, it's going to be hard to see through the emotion. Same on the Israel side. If you're invested in this because you got family in Israel, or you have an attachment to the country itself, or you were born there, or you live there, or whatever, you have a biased, over-emotionalized view of it. And that's just the way it is, man. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. Like, look, I don't want to have to kill anybody, and I don't want Germany, where I live, I don't want German soldiers killing other people's citizens or soldiers. But if suddenly, my family was taken, or the country was invaded by another country, and we had to fight for our freedom and fight for our lives, then all of a sudden you look at killing other people differently, right? So it kind of depends on what situation you're in. But us, as outsiders, right, we really can't make too much judgment apart from on the things that we know are happening, right? One thing we know is happening is that Israel is a stronger fighting force, has more weapons to its disposal, is getting support from numerous other Western countries, including the United States, both monetarily and militarily. We know Gaza is a very small place. We know the people who live in Gaza have nowhere to go. We know Egypt isn't taking them. We know Israel isn't taking them. And also, they're not going to be able to tread water for the next year and a half while the war goes on. So we know that the only logical conclusion is that because of all the bombing in the area, these people are being driven more and more towards the water, right, in the Gaza Strip. It's just a logical conclusion. And as a matter of fact, no Israeli supporter or Israeli spokesperson is denying that, right? They're not, I haven't heard none of them say, no, we are taking them to Egypt where they have safe harbor while the war continues, or we're flying them out of the country and dispersing them across Europe. None of that shit is happening. So while they might be dropping flyers or sending text messages, which we also don't know for sure is true, but even if they are, what good does it do? These fucking people have nowhere to go, right? And there have probably been tons of innocent people killed. I don't care about the number, right? I don't care about the number. The fact is, that's fucked up. Because as much as you hate the Hamas, not everybody in Palestine or not everybody in Gaza had something to do with October 7th or has anything to do with the Hamas regime, right? And so now, I think that Israel's in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's my downright opinion about it. It looks like Israel is on the wrong side of this. The way they're handling this, the amount of innocent people they're killing, and the unwillingness to have even one person admit that Israel might have a hand in something that caused this conflict, which it obviously does, because that's how all conflicts go. No conflicts generally start just one-sided. Somebody just woke up one day and thought, I hate that person, and so I'm going to fucking do something to him. No, conflicts have two sides. It takes two to tango, people. So whenever one side is unwilling to condemn anything their side does, or unwilling to admit anything that is already documented, that we know is the case, you know what I'm saying, and they're still trying to double down on not admitting those things are true, then that makes me kind of look skeptical at those people. But the International Court of Justice, right? The International Criminal Court, the ICC, they are in no position to issue an arrest warrant on Netanyahu, and they shouldn't be taken seriously, and here's why, right? Here's why. I'm not saying Netanyahu is not a war criminal. He probably is. It's likely. I mean, if there's really a way to count all the people that were killed, which there isn't, you know, I would be willing to bet that it's a ginormous number, which is against international laws of war, right? To kill that many civilians. And I think he probably is a war criminal, right? But the ICC is not a serious body. These people are biased, and they go in the way the wind blows. You see, the ICC is basically just another Western puppet organization that was put in place to serve justice to those who broke laws that the West set for them, but did not set for themselves. See, the ICC was meant to punish autocrats, dictators, the Iranian regime, which they also haven't done, which is strange, you know what I mean? They also haven't put arrest warrants out for Iranian fucking mullahs that have done horrible shit to their own citizens. As far as I know, there's no arrest warrant for Kim Jong-il. You know what I'm saying? Is it Un or Il? I don't know. One of them. The Kim Jong that's there now. Anyway, there's no arrest warrant for him as far as I know. You know? There's no arrest warrants for George Bush or Barack Obama, both of which committed war crimes. I'm sure a number of other presidents have committed war crimes. Right? And that's what makes this ICC body so bullshit. It's like the European Union. It's an organization that was brought to life by the imposers of the rules on other people who didn't want to follow those fucking rules and who had no intention of following those rules. See, because it's the West that made all these rules of war and rules of engagement and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this, and this is the amount of citizens, and you can't do that, and this is how you conduct it, and you can't do this. That's the West. And all of the countries for which those rules apply, obviously, not us. You know what I'm saying? Because none of the Western countries really stick to those rules, especially not America, right? And the countries that have supported America in the past by going into Iraq, for example, when Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, and lying about why we should go to Iraq, that's war crimes. That's putting the citizens of the countries that are going to war at risk, right? And killing a bunch of innocent people that have nothing to do with shit because the thing was a lie and they knew it was a lie. Those are war crimes. George Bush should be having an arrest warrant put out for him. But the ICC hasn't done that. And the reason why they haven't done that is because they are created by the West for the West. They're there to dictate and to enforce justice on all the countries that don't live by the standards or the rules that the West wants them to live by. The West, however, does not have to commit to those rules, right? They're not for the West. They're rules for thee, but not for me. Just like all of the rules. You know what I'm saying? All of the rules in Western countries are not for the people that make the rules. They're for the plebs and everybody else and all the other countries, but not for them. They can do whatever they want, but nobody else can. That's the way that works. And the ICC is a corrupt organization that is there to do the West bidding. And for the first time, everybody in the West is suddenly up in arms, you know, that the court has finally put the hammer down on a Western politician, right? That's Netanyahu. They want Netanyahu's head. They want him arrested, and one of his other war crime buddies. You know what I mean? I don't know, the defense minister or whatever. Yeah, they want to arrest them, and this is the first time they've ever gone after a Western power, right? So now all of the people that always have supported them and thought they were the greatest, you know what I mean? they're suddenly like, oh, it's a corrupt piece of shit. What they say doesn't matter. They're biased and blah. Oh, now they're biased because now they want to go after Israel. No. That's not why they're biased, right? They're just not to be taken seriously because generally they only do the bidding of the West and go after other people from other countries, right? But never those that deserve it in the West. And now suddenly, because of the international pressure is too high, they have no choice but to issue an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. And there's plenty of countries in the West that will carry that order out. You know what I'm saying? They will carry out that arrest warrant. They subscribe to this. They're like, yes, he should be arrested. And the only reason why I'm not on board with it, is because, like I said, the court itself is untrustworthy. It's to be disregarded. When you make yourself into a laughingstock by being hypocritical and biased in one direction, and one time you make the right decision, that does not absolve you from all the wrong decisions in the past or the ignorance of the past. That does not absolve you. So that makes this court illegitimate, unbelievable, untrustworthy, and laughable. That's the deal with the ICC. But still, Israel should and will probably at some point be held to account by somebody, right? And it probably is not going to be the West. It's probably not going to be the United States that does it. But somebody is going to hold Israel accountable for what they have done to Gaza and the Palestinian people there. That's just a given, right? That will happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, and it may not happen in the way we would like. But at some point there will be a reckoning. That you can count on. I just don't think that we should trust International Court of Criminal Court that was instituted by a completely corrupted system of the West, right? I don't think those are the people that should be making that decision. It makes it almost unbelievable that Netanyahu could be guilty of any war crime. See, because when they're coming out with the accusation, when the ICC coming out with the accusation, normal people should be like, yeah, but the ICC, who the fuck believes them, right? But you don't have to believe them to know that what Netanyahu and Israel is doing is absolutely wrong. You can deduce that by what the few things that you know about this conflict, right? Okay. The few things that you know, you can deduce that the people that are currently on the wrong side of history on this is Israel. You don't need the International Court of Justice to make that conclusion for you, and you shouldn't take the International Court of Justice seriously. So guys, let's not persecute Netanyahu based on the International Court of Justice. Let's find another way. Let's get an outside body or another type of court. I don't know what else there is, but let's get an investigation into what Israel has done and what they are doing. I think the United States should force Israel to allow U.S. investigators and investigators from other countries into the area to start investigating what they're doing, because they're not letting journalists in. And if they don't let journalists into Gaza, they're hiding something, period. Otherwise, you would let them in. You would let them in so they could tell the story for you and say, look, we were here. And what Israel has said this whole time is absolutely true, guys. They are not murdering innocent civilians. They are doing the text messages. They've done nothing wrong. We don't see any malfeasance. We don't see any war crimes here. If all the journalists that would be allowed into Gaza would say that, there would be nothing wrong. Then they would be absolved, but they're not letting them in. So that makes them extremely suspicious. Actually, almost the most telling part of it is that they won't let journalists in. The most telling. Because we don't know how many civilians they actually killed. We don't know the numbers. We can't believe the numbers. We're not there to count. Who is there to count? How are they counting? Who the fuck knows? Nobody knows. So all the information you're getting propaganda-wise is probably not to be believed from both sides. But we do know, and Israel has admitted as such numerous times, they are not letting journalists into Gaza, and they refuse to answer questions as to why not. That makes them utterly suspicious, and they should be investigated thoroughly. Just not by the ICC, people. So, hey, if you want to get all my content delivered directly to your inbox, all you have to do is subscribe to my Substack. You can do it for free. You can do it for $5 a month, which I would greatly appreciate. That would be awesome. I thank you for that. And you'll get all my content, including all the articles I write, delivered directly to your inbox. Subscribe below. The links are there. If you're watching this somewhere else, go ahead and follow me there. But the easiest thing to do for you as well is to go to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. That's it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com, and go ahead and subscribe there. Another good reason to do that is a lot of times I'll put links in the description below, and Rumble and TikTok and stuff, they don't let you put links in. So that's annoying, so I leave them out so you don't get them complete. And you'll get the videos complete with links if you just subscribe to the Substack for free or for $5 a month. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the next Insanity Report. Have a good one.